speaking to us on NewsX World as we track these developments. Viewers, we're shifting our focus back to South Asia, where we're getting some more news coming in. The KP Sharma Oli-led government in Nepal has lifted its ban on social media platforms following deadly protests that have left at least 19 people dead and more than 300 injured. Now, in a statement, Nepalese Prime Minister Oli has acknowledged that the government's efforts and the ambiguity between the Gen Z have led to an unpleasant incident. He has stressed that the government does not seek to curb social media use and has promised to ensure an environment that is conducive to its access. Meanwhile, Nepal's Home Minister Ramesh Lekhak has resigned and he stated that he's stepping down from the post on moral grounds. This comes after violence had erupted yesterday as police in the Nepalese capital Kathmandu fired tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse protesters who were gathered in front of the parliament in the heart of the city. They shouted anti-government slogans demanding immediate revocation of the ban. Let's in fact listen in to what some of the injured protesters have had to say.
मागासीपुर मुनि थिए उभिरहेको बेलामा यहाँबाट गोली स्वाट्टका रबर गोली रियल मेटल बुलेट यहाँ गएर मेरो मासुमा गोली उठेछ अरे अपरेसन गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ अरे अब त्यही हो शान्तिपूर्ण आन्दोलनलाई गयो सरकारले दमन गरे मलाई मेरो न केही दोष
कसैको खुट्टा छैन कसैको मैले आफै मेरो आफ्नै अगाडि एउटा मान्छेको यहाँ तलको चिरा परेर दुई फाक परेको छ गिरी पुस्दै ल्याएको मैले रुँदै ल्याएको मैले त्यो मान्छेलाई कति पीडा भएको होला मेरो मनमा त्यो पीडा त्यो आक्रोश त्यो जुनुनले मलाई मेरो पीडा सानो लाग्यो
ढुङ्गामुढा पनि भइरहेको लाइक अब त्यही भइरहेको छ अनि त्यही क्रममा अब गोली लाग्यो कि त्यसपछि थाहै भएन एक्कासी अब होस आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ म एम्बुलेन्समा थिएँ लाइक अनि आइसकेपछि अब नै थाहा भयो कि गोली लागेको रहेछ.
With us on the broadcast is Ambassador Mahesh Sachdev, former Indian diplomat, joining us from New Delhi. We've of course seen some rather dramatic visuals. Ever since yesterday, we saw some of the protesters storming the parliament itself. They scaled the walls. There were tear gas shells that were fired by the police. That's not all. Water cannons were also used. But all in all, what do you make of the dramatic escalation that had taken place? The protest started out completely fine, and in just a matter of hours, things went out of control. Do you think the protests were a sudden reaction to the app ban that was imposed by the Nepalese government, or has some sort of discontent been brewing for a while now?
I think it's a mix of the two. Nepal has had a long and uncertain relationship between its population and the ruling elite. As you would recall, from 1951 onwards, there have been all sort of permutations and combinations of royal family, partyless democracy, party democracy, abolition of the royal family, new constitution in 2013, and elections held in 2023. So all that has led to institutions being out of sync, perhaps not deep-rooted enough, and popular alienation with the institutions such as parliament, such as political parties, and other outfits, and the government at large, law enforcement machinery, etc., have been rather tenuous. And against this backdrop, we also have escalating economic issues. Nepal gets 1/3 of its GDP from foreign remittances sent by the Nepalese overseas. So you can imagine how dire the domestic economic situation is, the lack of employment opportunities, and poverty, healthcare, education, etc., are challenged. Uh, with all this in place and the logistics being poor, the print media's reach to this far-flung mountainous country is limited, leading to the social media being increasingly resorted to. 90% of Nepalese, according to one survey, rely on social media, particularly to get in touch with their own uh, family members and friends outside Nepal. Now, for government to suddenly decide to restrict social media, uh, subject to regulation, registration, etc., uh, created a very piquant situation which did not only affect the connectivity between various social groups, but also for tourism and remittances, as well as staying in touch with people outside the country from Nepalese stock. So all that put together created a very pyrotechnical mix leading to this demonstration. I think it also speaks on the other side of uh, government's inability to perceive the popular adherence to social media. Uh, and this, had this been perceived, uh, the measures could have been graded and could have been undertaken in a progressive manner, taking care to explain them to public. That was not done, and that led to this regrettable crisis.
All right, sir. I'd like to thank you for taking out time, of course, sharing your analysis of